For the first time in the history of the Indian Premier League, Chennai Super Kings will not qualify for the playoffs. Yes, it was made clear yesterday after Rajasthan Royals' victory over Mumbai Indians that CSK, who actually won the match against RCB and quite comprehensively at that, will not be making it to the playoffs. This is the first time in 11 tournaments that they've been part of the IPL. This is the first time they will not be going through from the league phase, and that's perhaps brings an end to an era pretty much, because CSK have been the dominant side in this league. They might not have won it as many times as Mumbai Indians, but 8 finals out of 11 appearances. That speaks hugely about their pedigree over the years. But perhaps the time has come for them to look to the future and perhaps gear up for the upcoming seasons by buying new faces, new people who will add more depth to the squad. We'll talk about the match between CSK and RCB, and of course the great century scored by Ben Stokes, which allowed Rajasthan Royals to keep breathing in this tournament. And of course, look forward to the crucial match between KKR and KXIP coming up today. My name is Arnab, and joining me is Rasesh Mandani, my colleague. Rasesh, two interesting results which have again thrown the race for the playoffs wide open. All top 3 teams losing in the last round. Mumbai Indians losing yesterday to the brilliance of Ben Stokes and Sanju Samson. And before that, of course, RCB going down to CSK, and DC had already lost to KKR. So now it's 3 teams on 14 points, 1 team on 12 against 1 team on 10. That is the match which will be played today. And if the team who are on 10 wins, which will be their 5th victory on the trot for KXIP, then IPL is actually going down to the wire.
Yeah, so why not start it with start by sort of simplifying the equation in the race to the playoffs. Well and truly, it can be said that if you have 16 points on the board, that you've got a very good chance of making the playoffs the way things stands and the way the points table is right now. So neither Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore are through as yet. All of them are standing on 14, but it's unlikely that they're going to lose 3 games in a row from now, looking at their form. But they would ideally want 1 more win to sort of more or less confirm their positions in the playoffs. As far as Kings 11 Punjab and Kolkata Knight Riders go, they would also be chasing that 16-point comforting the situation in the points table. So Kings 11 Punjab would be looking for 3 wins in a row, and KKR would need at least 2 victories out of the next 3. For Rajasthan Royals and Hyderabad, it's a lot more difficult task, because they will, in all probably, even if they win everything, we end up on 14. So they will depend a little bit on some of the other results going their way. They would preferably want Knight Riders and Punjab to slip. That opens up a possibility for them. So that's how the points table stands at the moment right now. That's why today's match becomes crucial. But a quick look at yesterday's matches. Yes, I think since Chennai Super Kings fans should not be fooled by the victory. Sometimes it can happen. RCB bowlers, I don't think, were on the money yesterday. When you're sort of having a flurry of victories, series of victories, and sitting well on the points table, you're not sometimes able to put your best foot forward. They didn't put enough pressure on the CSK batsmen. And good on Ruturaj Gaikwad. He sort of sent a message across to his captain that he's got a bit of spark in him. And Chennai Super Kings delivering a much needed victory.
Yes, delivering a much needed victory. And in that victory also, the one man who's been a constant in their campaign throughout had his imprints. Sam Curran, 3 wickets, 19 runs in 3 overs. Crucial little contribution there from the Englishman. And once again, perhaps CSK might look at this guy as the person around whom the new team could be built. But Ruturaj Gaikwad impressing yesterday and getting some runs under his belt. Remember, when we were starting this tournament, there were a lot of people who were taking punts on Gaikwad being the next big thing for CSK, and how he could actually be groomed as the new leader. But then, it didn't turn out to be the tournament that he was expecting it to be. But 65 well scored runs yesterday for CSK. All right, the next match that we will talk about is, of course, the RR versus MI match. Ben Stokes finally delivering for all the money that has been spent on him, finally showing what his true worth. 60 balls, 14 boundaries. That was the impressive part about his innings. I guess he kept everything on the ground as much as he could. Did not take unnecessary risks, and got the job done. And kudos to Sanju Samson also. Perhaps putting his hand up and showing that he can take responsibility and deliver when it matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them finally delivering on the promise that we knew they always had. Ben Stokes, leading all-rounder in the world at the moment, and Sanju Samson, with his clean striking ability like very few others in the Indian circuit. But his problem always has been consistency. It was a terrific partnership. I mean, they made light of what was a very imposing total put together by Mumbai Indians. It appeared as if once Hardik Pandya got those demolition act going
Big
in the
hits.
final 4 overs or so, one thought the match had run away from Rajasthan Royals where they were batting. But Royals sticking to their policy of opening with Stokes and it finally coming good. So perhaps it opens up an option for the English selectors to consider this at some stage in a T20 encounter. But yes, I mean, we know what Stokes is made of. And he decided to make it count in the match. One wonders if it's a tad too late, but like we mentioned, they're still not out of it. They'd hope that some other results go their way and they can continue on this run of form.
Yes, it's much stiffer, the task that Rajasthan Royals have on their hand. But the problem for them has been the inability to stitch victories one after the other, which Kings 11 Punjab have managed to do really well. They were in dire situation, but they have managed to win 4 on the trot, which almost no other team has done actually. To be very honest, even the teams who are sitting on top, RCB, DC, and Mumbai Indians, I don't think, or may have been one occasion where one of them have won 4 matches on the trot. So good on KXIP. We'll have to see whether RR are able to do this or not. All right, moving into our first segment, the battle, where we'll discuss the match that is coming up. 2 teams, in-form teams, Kings 11 Punjab. Everything fighting for them, batting, bowling, fielding, whatever you talk about. And Kolkata Knight Riders, what a great comeback they made from that defeat against RCB to beat Delhi Capitals. Perhaps they will also stick to the formula of opening with Nitish Rana. This will be, for me, a battle between Kolkata's bowling versus Kings 11 Punjab's batting. And Rasesh, I can see that spark which was missing in Pat Cummins' bowling to be slowly coming back, and it could be great news for KKR.
Yeah, I think the last match was a terrific match for KKR, not just because they won, because all their sort of players off form, returned to the party almost. I mean, Pat Cummins, you're right, a definite impressive spell from him with the new ball. Then Varun Chakravarti has always been doing well, but that 5-wicket all will boost his confidence. Nitish Rana out of form, returning with runs. Sunil Narine with the bat as well, and we know that Narine can bowl as well. A modified action, a very bizarre action. There's no leading arm almost, but he was still useful. So he will bowl a few overs, if not the full quota. So KKR have got a few things working from them, and this is a mouth-watering prospect if you just look at the points table and the importance of this match in context of the playoffs as well. Because if KKR win, they open up a big lead with Punjab and the other teams. They go on 14 and start threatening the top teams. And if they lose, then it becomes very crowded in the bottom table. So a very crucial match for both the sides.
Yes, very crucial match, and hope the action that will follow in that match will also be exciting. Let's move on to the trump cards to look forward to. You have chosen
KL Rahul.
KL Rahul. All right, and I am going in with Pat Cummins because I think that crucial encounter at the top when KXIP bat will be very important, because Pat Cummins, from whatever little I saw in the match against DC, that sharpness which was missing, perhaps that sharpness which allows him to pick up wickets, that seems to have come back. He's not a bowler who will give you 5 wickets, will give you 4 wickets, but then he's somebody who's a consistent performer, and for him to not pick wickets in double figures even now was a little bit of a surprise. But then he looks ready for the task ahead.
Look, yeah, it's very difficult to to sort of nail down on a batsman or a bowler because the wickets are not behaving evenly, are they? Today's match is at Sharjah, if not mistaken. So it was at Sharjah that Bolt and Bumrah got some movement and got those early wickets. And then we are seeing this bit of a trend where batting second is suddenly becoming easy in some of the pitches in certain venues. So we don't know how which strip is going to be laid out in today's match. I was inclined to think that perhaps Shami will have a big impact on the match as well. But I think Rahul, considering that he's the captain and the man in form with all the runs, and looking at the importance of the tournament and the fact that he can play with different gears, might just want to give an extra premium, want to leave a little extra premium on his wicket. And he may well turn out to be that crucial match, play an anchor innings and if it sort of is not dismissed early, then he may become very destructive towards the end. So important for KKR to get him out early.
Yes, lots of big players in action. Nitish Rana and Shubman Gill on top of the order for KKR. Sunil Narine is middling it. Eoin Morgan becomes important also. And of course, Chris Gayle and Nicholas Pooran on the other side, along with Mayank Agarwal. So, a battery of stars both in batting and bowling. We expect KKR and KXIP to provide us with an encounter to actually enjoy, and of course, a result to savor in terms of where the league stands. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching Battleground T20. We'll come back with the review of this match and, of course, look forward to the matches coming up. Thank you very much.